But I promise you, if you give up the salt, you allow... This is the real reason you shouldn't eat salt. Oh, really? No salt. Okay, this is a big one, guys. This is a big one. All my videos are based on the Nutritarian diet by Dr. Joel Fuhrman from the book Eat to Live. High nutrient, whole foods, plant-based, wonderful, wonderful stuff. No salt, no oil, no sugar added. We get plenty of salt in our diet, plenty of sodium from natural plant foods. They just naturally have sodium in them, so we're gonna get plenty just eating these foods. Typically around 700 to 1,000 milligrams per day, which is plenty to fuel the body's processes and be healthy. There are some rare cases, of course, of people that have low blood sugar that have, you know, to kind of watch this, but for all of millennia, we haven't been adding salt as a sort of flavor enhancer. We've just been eating natural things that occur. So we don't need to have extra sodium. We're gonna get it right from our natural plant foods, as long as we're eating these wonderful whole plant-based foods. We're getting 700 to 1,000 milligrams naturally just from the foods we eat. The American Heart Association recommends that we get no more than 1,500 milligrams per day. So this is great because the Nutritarian diet will automatically come in way under on those requirements. But did you know that the average American eats 3,500 milligrams of sodium per day? That's double just the recommendations of the American Heart Association, more than double. And some people eat even more on a regular basis. Very important to keep in mind these kind of numbers. I'm not gonna like bore you with all the reasons why scientifically, because we know this, the research is not ambiguous. Studies show that excess sodium intake is linked to diseases such as cancer, strokes, heart attacks, cardiovascular events, kidney disease, asthma, lots of different things are linked. Of course, hypertension, so many different things are linked to excess sodium intake. So you can, you know, look at all that legit research if you like, draw your own conclusions, but it's not ambiguous, right? I'll link some of this stuff down below in the show more section, as well as everything else I'm talking about. Oh, and real quick, guys, there is a cheat sheet included for this video. The reason that this particular cheat sheet is gonna be really important is because it's one I want you to print out, keep on hand with all the rest of your cheat sheets so you can flip through it, so you can just remember this little detail. Because understanding these little things little by little as you go in your journey is gonna help you just sort of get the whole picture a lot faster. So sign up at thewateringmouth.com/cheat sheets. Sign up there. You get an email that'll give you access instructions with a website and a password, and you'll be able to go there and download every cheat sheet I've ever put up for you, past, present, and future, including this one. Print them out, use them as reference, and it will help you to get and stay on your healthy, nutritarian, high nutrient lifestyle. And don't believe all that stuff you hear on the media either about like Celtic salt and these fancy sea salts and Himalayan salts and salts from, you know, I don't know, some it's like some weird place. That's just marketing hype. They're talking all about how there's minerals and you can get these trace minerals in these salts. And sure, you can get trace minerals from them, but what does trace minerals mean? A tiny, tiny, tiny bit of minerals. It's like 0.0000 whatever of these minerals. You can get plenty of minerals, like hundreds of times more this amount of minerals in plant foods, okay? So don't listen to that hype. There's no reason to be adding these salts. Of course, there are some people who have medical reason to have a little bit more sodium, but that is so rare compared to the normal population. So we definitely get enough in our whole plant foods. We don't need to add any more. It's very important that we don't, actually. But that's all the sort of like the research stuff, the science stuff. But I want to talk about the actual real reason that you shouldn't be eating salt. Once you're a nutritarian and you kind of fully understand this is what you will come to as well. The real reason that you should not be adding any sodium to your food is because salt's entire purpose as a condiment is to make us eat more of the food. That's the only reason we use it. It's not for the minerals, like you may think, oh, I'm eating it for the minerals, but really what you're using it for is because it makes the food taste better and makes you eat more of it. Is that our goal? Is to actually eat more food? No, it's not our goal. We don't set out in the morning and go, oh man, I just didn't have enough food yesterday. I really need to eat more today. Like I need to be eating more, so I'm gonna make it taste better, right? We don't think that. On the whole, we need to be losing weight, if anything, right? We need to be eating less foods. We don't need as much as we eat, especially the processed foods. We definitely don't need any more of that. So one thing I came onto really quickly was this idea idea, you know, when I say really quickly, that's a relative term, because actually I didn't give up salt for the first couple years of my journey either, because I just didn't believe it. I was like, that's like not me, you know. I have to eat salt. I need to have salt. I love the flavor. I need that kind of burst of flavor, right? I need to have this. If I'm going to be giving up all this other stuff, dairy, meat, sugar, oil, everything, all these things that I'm used to, I'm certainly not giving up salt, right? That was kind of my logic there. And after a couple years, I was like, you know what? I had given up so many things by that point. I'd given up the meat, I'd given up the oil, the sugar, the dairy, everything. And I was like, and they weren't actually that hard because my taste buds changed and I started to really, really appreciate the foods. And it takes time for sure, but it really wasn't the sort of battle I thought it was gonna be. So I was like, you know what? Let me just try to give up salt. So I did it kind of in a challenge. I was like, let me just challenge myself to try to give up salt. And you guys, the first thing I realized, like within the first meal, was, oh my God, this is gonna actually make me lose weight way easier, because I'm just gonna eat less, because I just won't care for the food as much as I did if I salted it. I know what you're thinking though. Now I know what you're thinking. You're like, but why would I want to not enjoy my food? What, you know, wouldn't I want to enjoy my food? I don't want to have a boring life for the rest of my life and hate my food all the time. No, that's not what happens, okay? So it's clear, we don't want to eat more, right? We definitely don't. But we do want to enjoy our foods. That's why we have salt substitutes. Now I know you're rolling your eyes when I say that, but I promise you, if you give up the salt, you allow your taste buds to get to the place where you actually appreciate salt substitutes, okay? So let me give you a few examples of salt substitutes. And I have a really, really good video called 10 Ways to Flavor Soup Without Salt. And these tips can be used in that video for sort of any food as well, salad, stuff like that. But these types of things that we have come across in this lifestyle, a no salt lifestyle, they really, really do help because your taste buds get used to it and then you really, really love them. So for instance, no salt spice mixes like herbs and spices, Mrs. Dash kind of things, right? I'm gonna link some of my favorite stuff down below. Nutritional yeast. It's sort of a cheesy, yummy flavored powder. Oh my gosh, it really, really kicks so many things up a notch. Lemon juice and citrus. You'd be surprised at how this sour flavor sort of mimics salt a bit. It kind of fools your taste buds into thinking you're having a bit of sodium. It really, really works. And to this day, I can't have soup without having some lemon or lime juice in it. I just love it. I love that so much. I crave that now. Tomato sauce, celery juice, carrot juice. These vegetables are very high sodium naturally. So using the juice as a soup broth or using tomato sauce as a salad dressing or mixing it into soups, things like this, really kicks things up a flavor notch and actually gives you actual sodium. So I tend to use that a lot actually. Interestingly enough, kale, collard greens, these kinds of very high nutrient greens are very high sodium foods in themselves just naturally. And so I sometimes will just saute up some kale and mix it into a mix of sauteed vegetables, and then you get some sodium in there too, and it actually tastes salty. And then also using other things to mimic other mouth feels. So using nuts to, like blending up nuts and making more of a creamy mouth feel plus lemon. Even vinegar is a really, really good salt substitute because it does the same thing as the sour does. Kind of gives you that nice sour, bitter-ish flavor, and you get sort of fooled taste buds again there. So you can use all of these different things in different combinations, and there's a lot of them that I forgot too, but lots of different things in different combinations and create your own flavor profiles. I want to stress, I can't stress it enough, if you give up the salt, you actually give yourself the opportunity to finally like those salt substitutes. If you don't give up the salt, you're not gonna be satisfied one day with having a ton of salt on stuff and the next day with just having some Mrs. Dash. That's not how it works. It has to be a gradual getting better over time, right? That you actually give your taste buds that rest and you give them the ability to start picking up on subtle nuances of flavor that you couldn't have noticed before. And I promise this happens. I promise it does, okay? Consider it this way. Let's just compare tortilla chips. So let me give you a little example here. Let's say you're making some tortilla chips at home from scratch. You take some corn tortillas and cut them into triangles and you bake them, I don't know what it is, like 350, 5 or 10 minutes, something like that. You bake them, they get nice and crispy, you pull them out of the oven. Now half of them, let's say you leave them plain and half of them you sprinkle some salt onto them. Which ones are you gonna want more? Of course, the ones with the salt on them, you're gonna eat lots of those, right? That's a problem. problem. You don't want to eat a lot of them. But let's say you challenge yourself. You only eat them when you're hungry. I promise you that if you wait till you're hungry to eat these chips, the ones that don't have salt on them are going to taste awesome at first because you're hungry. Everything tastes better when you're hungry. That's why they say hunger is the best sauce. Commercial. Hey guys, real quick, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, my analytics are showing that 60 to 70% of you are not subscribed. If you're watching this video right now, 7 out of 10 of you are not subscribed. What the heck? Hit the subscribe button, please, and also hit the bell button to make sure you get notifications when I publish new videos if you like this stuff. Also, please hit the thumbs up button. Thumbs up shows me that you like this type of content, and if you could also, please comment down below and let me know what you think about this topic. You eat some of these tortilla chips that don't have any salt on them, and you have maybe 3, 4, 5 of them, and you're like, wow, these are really, really good. Then after a while you go, oh, these don't taste so good. They could use some salt, or they could use something, right? This is the whole point, you guys. This is what happens. You start to eat those tortilla chips and they taste amazing as long as you're hungry. But then once you start having them and you're like, the body's like, okay, I don't really need any more of these, then it suddenly goes, oh, these don't taste that good. That's what you're going for. You are going for that natural moment of, oh, I don't really want any more of these. That's what happens with every food. If you have the proper amount, like it's just a natural amount of flavoring, right? You're just using some citrus, or you're just using some no salt spices or whatever it is. This is what happens. The brain actually can have the space to think about it and go, oh, I don't need any more of this. I don't want any more. And it finally tells you, you know, stop, like you've had enough, you don't need any more. So when you eat something, whether it's a salad or a soup or whatever, now you have space to be able to actually listen to the signal of you've had enough. Because getting bored with a meal, getting done with eating it, that's an indication that you've had enough and you can move on. A natural amount of sodium is gonna do that for you, but I'm telling you, if you're sprinkling salt on everything, it's only gonna make you eat 20, 30, 40% more than you would had it not had salt on it. I guarantee you, this is how it works. This is the main reason that you don't want to be using salt, you guys. Now, it is a transition. I'm not gonna lie to you and say that it's fun in the beginning, because it's definitely not, because you have inundated your taste buds with flavor blasted things, right? Like way too much flavor, and your brain is used to that. So your brain is gonna go, oh man, I'm really missing what I used to have. This doesn't have any flavor. I'm sad. Right? You can watch videos like The Pleasure Trap by Dr. Lyle and Dr. Goldhammer, read the book, you know, lots of it sort of explains how this works, but it really does work like this. This is fascinating stuff, how the brain works in this way, that after a while you really do readjust. You really do get used to a natural amount of sodium and the way that foods are supposed to taste, and it allows your brain to tell you when you've had enough finally. And that's a relief. That is actually a relief, because then you're going to be able to have those natural hunger signals, listen to your natural hunger cues, and be done when you're satiated, and lose weight in the process, you guys, and just feel a whole lot better too. Okay, well, I think that's it. That's what I had for this video, guys. If you like this one, please let me know by subscribing, hit the bell button for notifications, liking, hit the thumbs up button, and comment down below. Let me know what you think. Have you given up salt before? What do you think about salt? Are you afraid of giving it up? Let me know your thoughts about this whole salt topic, and let's have a discussion down below like we always do in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching. Please check out my Patreon. My Patreon channel, you guys. It's where all the cool kids are hanging out. It's where you guys can support me to make more of these videos. I make like nothing on YouTube ads. My channel just isn't big enough, and I really want to be able to keep doing this as a profession, as something that I continue to do to support your lifestyle and keep you on the healthy journey along with me, okay? So please check out my Patreon, patreon.com/thewateringmouth. I get a bunch of really awesome people over there right now already in on this thing, helping me out, helping me to keep going. You get some exclusive content over there that I don't show anyone else. Get in there and you'll see what I'm talking about. Thank you so much for even considering that. I hope you guys like this video. Please let me know, and I will see you in the next one. Bye! Yeah, she's snoring.